Hari Om. In the previous videos, we have covered what are classes, their members, constructors, destructors, static members, and how to initialize all the members of your class, and what is the purpose of using this reference, etc. In this video, we are going to discuss what is a constant member, what is a read-only member, what is the difference between these two members. The constant and read-only keywords are used to make a field constant. If you want to have a value which cannot be modified inside a class, then you can have it as a constant member or you can have it as a read-only member. Any data member to be made constant and which should not be modified in the program can be declared as a constant member or you can declare it as a read-only member. If you take constant members, please note the spelling here. If you take a constant member, using the constant modifier, I can declare a member as a constant member. And the values of these members must be set when it is defined or when it is declared itself. Otherwise, your system will give you an error. After that, you cannot modify the value because the values of a constant member will be assigned at the compile time itself. So, when you declare a constant member, by the time itself you have to assign a value to it and then you cannot modify that particular value in the program. These values will be assigned at the compile time itself. So by default, the constants are implicitly static. So you need not explicitly specify the static declaration for the constant. Since it is going to be implicitly static, we have already seen static members will be having only one copy for the entire set of objects of the class. So since the constant members are implicitly static, you are going to have only one copy of it will be stored and it is common to all the objects of that particular class, and you can access the constant member by specifying the class name dot member name, the constant member name. This is an example. This is how you will be declaring a constant as you declare in your C++ and Java. Specify the const keyword and the data type and the variable name and assign a value. This is very important. So you declare a variable, then assign value immediately to that particular variable. This is one way of declaring a constant. And here I have shown another example also. You can see here I am declaring two constants x and x1 with value 10 and 50. And I am declaring a third constant y by adding x and x1. So if I do this, it is not going to give you any error because it can be evaluated at the compile time itself. Because x in or value kitti and x1 is also 50. You have got a value for both x and x1. But you can see here I am passing a variable. This is a variable. This is not a constant. This is a variable. And I am trying to add a constant with the variable and I am assigning it to a constant. This will give you an error because the variable gets a value only at the runtime, which cannot be done for a constant. So this is going to give you an error. So expressions are allowed in the constant declaration provided they have some constant values which are assigned before itself. This is to be noted in the constant declaration. You can apply the const keyword to any built-in data types like byte, integer, character, float, double, etc. You can also apply constant for an enumerated data type or to a string literal or even to a reference data type you can assign a constant. But if you are assigning it to a reference data type, remember the only value that you can assign will be a null value. So obj1 will be assigned with value null, then there will not be any error because it can be evaluated at the compile time. But when you are going to use new operator, this will be executed only at the runtime, which cannot be assigned for a constant. So this is going to give you an error. So the only possible constant value that can be assigned to a reference data type will be a null value. And your constants can also be marked with access modifier as public, private, protected internal and protected internal. Any of these access modifier can also be used for a constant in your class declaration. Next, let us see what are read-only members. So if you want to set values of a constant member at the runtime, then you can use a read-only member. Observe here, your constants can be assigned a value only at the compile time, but you want to assign a value to a constant during the runtime, then you go for a read-only member. But read-only member is also a constant, remember that. This is one purpose of read-only member. Or if you want to have different constants for different objects, then you can go for a read-only member. If you use const keyword, it is going to have one value for all the objects. But if you use read-only member, different constants for different objects can be allowed. It is going to set the values of these members using a constructor method, but it cannot be modified later. So in your constructor, you can set the values for these read-only members. And your read-only members can be static or instance. If it is going to be a static member, only one value for all the objects. If it is instance, different values, different constant values for different objects. If it is static, only one constant value for all the objects. If it is instance, different values, different constant values for different objects. This is an example. I declare a class and I am going to declare a variable as a read-only variable. Observe here, I am assigning this value here itself. This is also possible. Or I declare another variable here as x1 and I am initializing this x1. I am initializing this x1, capital X1 inside the constructor. So this will be initialized at the runtime, whereas this will be initialized at the compile time. This read-only member will be treated similar to your constant member const, but here it is purely a read-only member. So both x and x1 are going to be constants for each and every object of class my class. This is another example. I am declaring a class called numbers. I am going to declare a read-only member which is m, which is an instance member, and I am declaring a static member which is also a read-only member. So to initialize these two members, I am writing a constructor, and this constructor will be initializing the read-only instance member, whereas this constructor will be, this is a static constructor. So the static constructor will be initializing the static read-only member. So what I am doing, I am passing a value here, and this value will be assigned to m. M is a read-only instance member, whereas I am having a static constructor where I am assigning value 100 to the static read-only member. So once you have initialized, these values cannot be modified in your class or in your program. That is the advantage here. And observe here, for each object of class numbers, if I am going to have numbers n1, n2, n3, for n1 I will have a different constant value for m, whereas same value for n. N is going to be a static member, So all the objects of numbers will have 100 as the value for n, which cannot be modified. Whereas for each object the m value can be different and it is going to be a constant value which cannot be modified. So that is the purpose of having the read only member. Suppose if you are going to imagine this read only member, you are declaring using const keyword, const. Then what happens? For all the objects of numbers, m is going to be common. There is going to be only one value. Since I am declaring it as read only, m will be different for each and every object. That is the purpose of having read only and constant member in your class declaration. So this is another slide that shows that your classes can be nested. Your classes, say for example, you can declare a class inside a class. Let us assume this is an outer class and inside which again I am declaring a class. This is possible in your C# programming. And there is an example program given. You can just go through. Observe here, I am declaring an outer class. Outer class is having a method called show method, and outer class is having another class, inner class, which is again declared with a display method. Then I am creating an object of inner class here called as ABC. I am creating an inner class here, an object of inner class. This is possible in your C# program. So this is just to understand, inside a class you can declare another class, and this example is also given in your prescribed textbook. You can go through that example. Just work out this example also in your terminal. You can understand how it works. Thank you for listening to this video. Thank you.